yesterday, the anxiety. I know I wasn't the only one feeling it. There was a lot of us feeling it. The energy felt really, really heavy. I don't know how else to describe it. And it was quite interesting, the journey that I went on. More for the fact that because I've created the Stages of Self program, I could clearly see what was happening. The self-awareness of what was happening was so strong. It was amazing. Usually when I go through my anxiety cycles, I like to call it, I can get stuck in it because I don't know what's coming next. I don't know what's happening. Like, there's a lot of fear wrapped up around it. And yet, because I had that Stages of Self to know what was going to happen next, to know where I was at, to give myself the questions to ask, I was actually pretty calm through the whole thing yesterday, which is something to say when we're talking about anxiety. So for me, it started yesterday morning. Hubby's been trying to work from home because Lexi has quite a bad cough, and we're getting a bit concerned with all the virus stuff and her getting it, that kind of thing. So we finally got the okay to work from home. Meanwhile, that kind of stuffed up my morning because it meant I was driving back and forwards from his office to home when I should have been doing my live for the Darling Your Magic show. So that raised, and by the time we finally got home and got everything set up, way past when I should have done it, and my princess stood up. And the princess is all about freedom. So all of a sudden I've got homeschooling with the little one who was like right there now. I've got my husband just down the hallway working in his office, and my freedom to just relax, to expand, to just be me during the day felt squashed, really, really squashed. So my inner princess stood up and she got really cranky. She started blaming. I've lost my freedom was her fear. It's their fault, it's their fault, it's her fault, it's her fault. All those things kept playing in the back of my mind. And because I know what that fear is, I know that that is the princess's fear, that she has lost her freedom, I was able to call on my inner mother goddess, the next stage. And she was able to nurture the princess and say, it's okay, you haven't lost your freedom. It is just growing and evolving into something else. So by the time my inner nurturer, which meant me doing lots of little bits around the house, gardening, a bit of cleaning, I was able to nurture that inner princess and that fear of losing my freedom. When she finally calmed down enough, my inner goddess mother was able to breathe, her fear raised. What if my people don't love me anymore? It means I have to change when I show up online, what I have to do in my business, how it all runs. I'm like, what if my clients don't love me anymore? And that fear started coming up. And that is a huge fear for the mother goddess, not being loved. But where I would usually get stuck in that space, I knew the next step was my dark queen. The next step is when that power from within comes up. She gets angry. And so I've got this part of me that's a bit upset. What if people don't love me? Blah, blah, blah. And the dark queen stood up. She's got this anger in her. And she's just like, well, they're not your people. Let them go. If they can't follow you, then they're not meant for you. And it's quite interesting when you have that strength come up from within you, because it really propels you forward. It really makes you move forward then. And because the dark queen within us, yes, she's direct, but she's very compassionate about it. So I could feel this different change of energy within me, that the mother goddess of, or what if they don't love me, started subsiding, that fear started subsiding. She went, okay, that's fine. I'm still going to get the love. It's just changed. The way it looks has changed. The dark queen stood up within me and went, they're not your people if they don't love you. Those who love you will respect, and respect is the key thing for the dark queen. She wants respect and she wants to be heard. So that part of me was going, okay, I want to be respected and heard. And after that, the dark queen got a bit angry in me. I do tend to get angry at times. She got a bit angry in me and she's like, I don't like the fact that this is all changing. I have had a very good structure, I guess you could say, for the last, how old's Lex, 8 years, of how I've got my business working around the family. I have my own space when I do it, which has really, really helped. But that has now changed. So the dark queen in me started to get angry. Everything has to change. The structure of my life has to change. And that, because I know what's coming next, I knew my siren was coming next. My siren stood up and went, just breathe, go with the flow. See, the siren is all about that. The siren is that part of us that wants us to move forward, that knows we have a purpose, knows we have a journey to go on, but she is very flexible about it. She's kind of like our inner intuition. She knows what's coming, but she knows you've just got to go with it. So after my dark queen got a bit angry, I could feel that siren stepping up at me, going, just breathe, ride the wave, go with the flow. But then I was also getting the message, there's a purpose to this. Just go with it. And that's when I realized the biggest part of what was going on with my anxiety. It wasn't that I'd lost my freedom. It wasn't that maybe you guys wouldn't love me anymore because I was showing up at different times. It wasn't that everything was changing again, because I'm quite flexible with change. My issue was lying in the siren space. I had forgotten to trust the journey, and that was causing me anxiety. So by the time I'd cycled through my princess, my mother goddess, my dark queen, and I'd gotten to my siren and realized that the cause of my anxiety was the lack of trust in this journey and where we were going, I was able to really breathe and stop and slow down. And I knew to ride the wave, I had to cry, I had to go through those cycles, I had to do some work to try and get that out, and I just went through it. And it was quite good, because by the time I got to the end, I could see how those 4 things had played out very simply, very easily. It was interesting having so much self-awareness as I went through those cycles. And the best part was when I got to the end of the siren, I knew what came next, and I actually got excited then, because what came next is the sorceress. That's where you get to share that magic with the world. It's where you get to take it one step further, and it's no longer just about you. It's like you've done the work, you've done that cycle, and now it's about sharing that cycle with others. And that's why I'm standing up now. That's why I'm sharing now. And it's really exciting to see it all playing out. And I can see it playing out in others' lives now. And I think it's going to make it a lot easier now to be able to pinpoint what's going on for people and going, it's okay, this is the next step. And in doing that, it makes your journey easier as well. I even had a beautiful friend reach out to me this morning saying that she's at the angry stage now. I'm like, yes, good, because this is what's coming next. Work your way through that angry stage. So, like I said, I thought it'd just be easier to do a video than type all that up. But yes, that was my journey yesterday. So if you are in that anxiety stage and you're really, really stuck, please reach out to me. The energy is very heavy right now, so be kind on yourself. And I'm going to leave it at that. Love and kindness, everyone. Mwah!